Hey guys, hi, welcome back. So in the previous video, what we have seen, we have discussed some important relations which we will be using in future lectures of complex analysis. And in this video, you have already seen the thumbnail. So you know we will discuss the review of complex number and we will see some basic things which we need to know about the complex number. So for this, the first topic that we will be discussing is the representation of complex number. So we can represent the complex number in Cartesian form, polar form, and additional one more I am adding here is the rectangular form. So we will be basically working on the complex number form is that we will be talking much and more about the Cartesian and the polar form. Okay, so the first is that the complex number, complex number, it is represented by z is equals to x plus iy, and this representation it is in Cartesian form. All right, this is in Cartesian form. So here x it is the real part. All right, here x is the real part, y it is the imaginary part. So you see a complex number, it can be purely imaginary, it can be purely real, or it can be combination. So what you can write here, that when a complex number is purely real, when a complex number is purely real, purely real means what? Z will be equals to x, then the imaginary part y will be equals to what? 0. And similarly, when you will say that when a complex number is purely imaginary, complex number is purely imaginary. So in that case, what will happen? Z will be equals to iy and x is equals to 0. That means for a purely real complex number, the imaginary part will be 0, and for a purely imaginary complex number, the real part will be 0. And z is equals to x plus iy. This is a combination of both real and imaginary parts. So here one note you can write. All right, here we can just write a note that complex number may be real, may be purely real. Okay, may be purely real, comma, purely imaginary. It can be also purely imaginary, or may be the it may be the combination of both real and imaginary. All right, so this was the Cartesian representation. Now in polar form, polar form, how we can represent it? So for this we will use r and theta, right? So in polar form you can write z is equals to r e to the power I theta. So this is how you can write. And in the previous video we have seen, we can write e to the power I theta as what? We can write e to the power I theta as cos theta plus I sine theta, right? So you can further write it as r cos theta plus I sine theta. So here what you can write, r cos theta, it is representing x. So here x is equals to what? R cos theta, and y is equals to what? I sine theta. All right. So this is x and y. And in rectangular form, what you can write? In rectangular form, you can write r, na? Z is equals to r less than theta. We will not work in rectangular form, just for your general knowledge I have mentioned it. So this is the polar form, Cartesian form we have seen. Now what we will see? We will see some basics. Okay, some basic points which we need to know. All right. So first is that when will be two complex number equal? two complex number will be equal when their coefficients are equal. So the first one is what? When two complex numbers are equal, then their coefficients are equal. All right, means if you have two complex numbers, z1 is equals to what? A plus ib, and if you are having what? z2 is equals to what? C plus id, right? Then z1 will be equals to z2 when the real part coefficient a will be equals to what? C, right? And b will be equals to d. It's only then you can say these two complex numbers are equal. All right, the second is we will see how we can add complex numbers. So for addition also, what you will do? Z1 plus z2, you will add what? You will add the real parts coefficient, right? That is a plus c, plus taking I common, and you will do what? The imaginary parts addition, right? B plus d, the coefficients of the imaginary part. And similarly you can do subtraction also. All right, you can do subtraction also in the similar way, z1 minus z2. So how you will do? You will just write a minus c plus I b minus d. You can do here and c also. A plus ib minus, right? C, this will become minus id. So this two will come, a minus c plus I you take common. This will give you what? B minus d. So this is very simple. So this is how you can add, subtract, and you can say two complex number are equal. Clear? Now next what we will see, we have already seen the polar form. All right, we have seen the Cartesian form, we have seen the rectangular form. Now we will see how we can represent a complex number. So you have to remember that every complex number, every complex number, all right, can be represented by a point in the complex argand plane. All right, we can represent every complex number in the complex argand plane. Okay, so for this, if I consider two axes, x and y, right? X is representing the real part, so x-axis I'm taking it to be the real axis. Y represents the imaginary part, so I'm taking y to be the imaginary axis. All right, this point P, it is representing any complex number. So in Cartesian coordinates, it will be x and y. And when I will talk in polar form, right, I'm taking this point to be here. So in polar form, what you will have? This is theta, this is r. So this is O, this is the origin, right? O. So here OP, it is the radius vector. Theta, it is the angle made by the vector OP with the real axis. And r, it is the length of what? It is the length of the radius vector. So here what I will write, that here you see this x-axis now. If you can say that if you are multiplying it by I or you are rotating it by 90 degree, in that case you will get any point P. In Cartesian it is x and y. This vector OP, it will make an angle theta with the real axis. All right, so here first what you will write, theta, it is the angle made by the vector OP with the real axis. All right, r, it is what? R is the length of the radius vector. All right, similarly after this there is a very important topic which we say the conjugate. Next thing that we have to see is the conjugate of complex number. All right, so how we can get the conjugate of a complex number? The conjugate of a complex number, it is denoted by what? Z bar. We will denote the conjugate by z bar, and it can be written as x minus iota y. That means if you have a complex number z equals to x plus iy, its conjugate will be x minus iota y. That means the sign before I will change. You have to remember that the conjugate, it is representing what? The reflection of the complex number, all right, above the real axis. So if you extend this figure, so this side we already know this is positive, then this will be what? Minus, this is will be what? Negative. So if you take the reflection of this point at this position, all right, at this position, then you will get what? P. Okay, that means you will get z bar. P bar I'm taking z bar. That means you will get x minus iy. So complex conjugate is what? Nothing but the reflection of the number about the real axis. Clear? So this you have to remember, you have to remember one more thing, that minus x and x, they are making angle 180 degree. How it is making, you can see. So minus x, it is there. We know what? Minus x can be written as I square x, because we know minus 1 is equals to 1, right? That is I into with x. So when one I is multiplied, then it is making a rotation of how much? This is this much, 90 degree. One more I, then it will make what? 180 degree. So this is just for a general information. So here what you have to remember is the complex conjugate. Similarly, you will have to know about the modulus. Modulus of a complex number. How we can write the modulus of a complex number? So we already know the modulus of a complex number. It is denoted by what? This way, mod of z, and it is equals to what? Root over x square plus y square. That means modulus of z, it is equals to what? Modulus of z, it is equals to the square of real part, all right, plus imaginary part, right? Root over and the square of real part plus the square of imaginary part, all right? And mod of z, it can be written as r. This is equals to r. So this is what? This is the equation of a circle, all right? And in a better form, what you can write, that this equation, it will implies what? It implies, it implies that mod of z equals to r, it is representing, all right, it represents a circle. It is representing a circle which is centered, circle centered at the origin with radius r, all right? So this is very important. Modulus of z is equals to r. It is the equation of a circle which is centered at the origin and which has a radius r. And next important thing that you have to know is what? That is the argument. How you can find the argument of z, or you can say the argument of a complex number. The argument of z, all right? So we know the argument of z, it is denoted by what? It is denoted by theta, right? So how you can write it? You will write it as argument of z. It is equals to theta, and theta is equals to what? Tan inverse y by x, all right? Or you can write tan inverse of what? Imaginary part plus what? Real part, all right? So these are the important things that you should know. Clear? Now after this, we will see the properties of modulus. What we will see? Properties of modulus of z. Okay, so we will have 4 properties of modulus of z. So firstly, what we will write, if z1 and z2 are two complex numbers. So for this, you will consider two complex numbers. If z1 and z2 are two complex numbers, all right? When these are two complex numbers, then the first property will be what? The first property is the modulus of the sum of z1 and z2. It will be what? It will be less than the modulus of Z1 plus the modulus of Z2. All right. The second is what? The modulus of Z1 minus Z2, it is greater than and equals to the modulus of Z1 minus the modulus of Z2. All right. The third property is what? The modulus of Z1 into Z2, it is equals to the modulus of Z1 into with the modulus of Z2. The fourth property is the modulus of Z1 by Z2, it is equals to what? The modulus of Z1 divided by the modulus of Z2. So here you have to see the product's modulus, it is equals to what? The product of the modulus of Z1 and Z2. These are equal. This is also equal. Okay, Z1 by Z2's modulus, it is equals to what? Modulus of Z1 by Z2. The only thing you have to see that the modulus of Z1 plus Z2, it is less than equals to, and the modulus of Z1 minus Z2, it is greater than equals to. Clear? Next we will see what? Next we will see the argument of Z. So you have already seen your interlevels, right? How you can write the argument of Z properties. Okay, so I will write here properties of argument of Z. So before going into the properties, I'd like to say that the properties of argument of Z, it is similar to that of logarithm. Okay, so the first property is what? The argument of Z1, Z2, Z3 up to what? Zn. It is equals to what? Argument of Z1 plus argument of what? Z2 plus argument of Z3, and it will go up to what? Argument of Zn. All right. And the second property is what? Argument of Z1 by Z2. It will be equals to what? Argument of Z1 minus the argument of Z2. That means the product, the multiplication will be changed by addition and the division will change by subtraction, as in it is happening in case of logarithm. Clear? So these are the basic properties of the modulus and the argument. Next, one more important topic is what? De Moivre's theorem. So De Moivre's theorem, it is a very important theorem. All right. So, and it's very easy. So De Moivre's theorem, how you can write it? De Moivre's theorem can be written as cos theta, right? Cos theta plus I sin theta whole to the power n. It will be equals to what? Cos n theta plus I sin n theta. That means this n will come with the angle theta. All right. It will come with the argument theta. All right. Here n is an integer. So this is the De Moivre's theorem. Clear? So till here we have just seen the basic. Now we will see two more important things. First is that we will see how we can find the square root of a complex number. Next we will see the cube root of unity. All right. So first let's see the square root of a complex number. So we know that the square root of a complex number, it is also a complex number. So you have to write here that the square root of a complex number, the square root of a complex number will be a complex number. So if you write the complex number Z is equals to what? X plus IY. All right. Then the square root of X plus IY, it will be equals to what? A plus IB. That means it will be a complex number. So to find the square root, we need to find the value of A and B, right? So for this, we will do some simplifications and then we will get the value of A and B. So the first thing what you will do is you will do squaring both sides. We will do the squaring both sides. When we will do the squaring both sides, the square will be removed. We will have only X plus IY. In the right hand side, you will have A plus IB whole square, right? So the left hand side will be as it is, and the right hand side we will just expand. We will use the basic algebra formula A plus B whole square, which is giving us A square plus B square plus 2AB, right? So here what you will have A square plus IB whole square, because B is IB, plus 2ab. So left hand side is again as it is. In the right hand side you are having a square. I square is equals to what? -1. We know that. So this will give you a minus sign. This is b square plus 2aib. Clear? Now what we will do, we will compare the real and imaginary parts. So here what you will write, comparing the real and imaginary parts of both sides. All right. So the real part of the left hand side is x and the right hand side is what? A square minus b square. And the imaginary part of left hand side is y and the right hand side is 2ab. So this is what we got. Now what you see, you have seen the algebra identity, na, which is saying what? A square plus b square whole square, right? It is equals to a square minus b square whole square plus 4ab square. And we have already seen x is equals to what? A square minus b square, right? Y is equals to what? 2ab. So we will use these in this particular identity, and what you will get, a square plus b square whole square, it is equals to sorry, a square minus b square will be written as what? This is x whole square plus this will give you what? 4ab means what? 2ab whole square. That means it is y square, right? So from here what you will get, a square plus b square, it is equals to what? Root over x square plus y square. So consider this as equation 1, and we have already one more relation, a square minus b square is equals to what? X. So this you consider as relation 2. Now when you will add these two relations, you will get the value of a, and when you will subtract, you will get the value of b. So first we will do 1 plus 2. So you will have a square plus b square plus a square minus b square. And here you will have what? X square plus y square plus x. So here this b square will cancel this b square, and you will have what? 2a square. So I'm writing a square here, bringing this to the right, 2 to the right hand side. And here what you will have, x square plus y square plus x. So now taking this square to the right hand side, you will have plus minus, right? Here you will have what? Root over x square plus y square plus x, the entire term divided by 2, 1 by 2. Okay, root over 1. The root over is there, so I've written it 1 by 2. So this is the value of what? A. Similarly, you can do what? You can find b also. So we can find b. So what we will do? So this time we will do 1 minus 2. So what we were having? We were having a square plus b square was equals to what? Root over x square plus y square, right? And we were having a square minus b square is equals to what? X. All right. So 1 minus 2 this time. So it is a square plus b square minus a square. This will become plus b square. And this side you are having x square plus y square minus x. So this time a square and a square will get cancelled. This will give you what? 2b square, right? So b square is equals to what? This side you will have 2. This is x square plus y square minus x. So from here directly what you can write, b is equals to plus minus, all right? And here you will have what? X square plus y square minus x divided by 2 whole to the power 1 by 2. So this is the value of b, and the first one was what? The value of a. So this is how you can calculate the value of a and b, and you can find the square root. So here what did you get? You got the value of b to be this, right? And this is the value of a. So if you see here, here also you're having a plus minus, right? Here also plus minus. So at here you're getting how much? Total 4 roots, right? But you need what? You need 2 roots because we are talking about the square roots. So which 2 roots you will consider? It will depend on what? Y. You know that y is equals to what? 2ab, right? So when y is positive and when y is negative, whenever you will do problems, you will check whether y is positive or negative. When y is positive, so here you are having 4 combinations, right? Both are negative, both are positive. When one is positive, the other is negative. When the first one is negative, the second one is positive, right? So for y to be positive, what you will have? Both negative or both positive. This combination. And when y is negative, you will have a positive, b negative, a negative, b positive, right? So you will see the value of y, that it is positive and negative, and you can take any 2 roots. Clear? Now we will do one problem so that it will become more clear. So for this, you will take an example, 6 minus 8i. All right. So here what you will do to find the square root of this 6 minus 8i, you will consider it to be a plus ib. All right. So here you see that we have seen in the first thing here na, that the square root of complex number, it will be what? A complex number. So first step we have considered it to be a complex number. We will not do all the steps. We will use the formula directly. Okay, what we got? The formula for a, it was plus minus, right? Here it was root over x square plus y square plus x divided by 2. And here we were having 1 by 2. And b was equals to what? Plus minus root over x square plus y square minus x divided by 2 whole to the power 1 by 2. So here if you see, x is equals to what? 6. Y is equals to what? Minus 8. That is my y is negative. Clear? Okay. So we have to take the combination of what? Either both negative or either, sorry, we have to take the combination either a positive, y negative, a negative, or b positive because it's negative. All right. And we will see the value of x square plus y square because we will use in the formula. Na? So here you will see x is how much? 6. So 6 square is how much? 36 plus y square is what? Minus 8 square, that is 64. So this will give you root over 100 and you will get the value of root over x square y square to be what? 10. So directly we will use here plus minus. This will give you 10 plus 6 divided by 2, right? Whole to the power 1 by 2. So this 16 by 2, right? When you will write here 16 by 2 whole to the power 1 by 2, you can cancel it by 8 because 2 8 is 16. So you can write it as what? 2 cube. 8 can be written as 2 cube. So it will give you what? 2 cube into with what? 2 to the power 1 by 2, 2 to the power 3 by 2. So you can write it as 2 root 2 with a plus minus sign, right? Plus minus sign will be there. Similarly for b, if you see what you will write here, this is root over x square plus y square, that is 10. This is minus 6. X is 6 divided by 2. All right, this is 1 by 2. So this is also plus minus. 10 minus 6 is what? 4. Denominator is 2. Plus minus symbol will be here. 2 2s are, all right, 4. So this will give you just root 2 with a plus sign, minus sign. So combination what we were having, when a is positive, that means when a is 2 root 2, then b will be negative, that is minus root 2. When a is negative, that is minus 2 root 2, b will be what? Root 2. All right. Therefore, what you can write, the square root of 6 minus 8i, it will be equals to what? 2 root 2 minus I root 2, or you can write minus 2 root 2 plus I root 2. Clear? So this will be the square root. So when you will make notes, make sure that you write these formulas, which will make your calculation easy. You have to just see the basic. Now it is clear. I know when I was just explaining you the theory, it was becoming quite difficult for you to understand how you will solve the problem in this y part. Okay, y negative, how you will use the combinations. I hope now it is clear. Now we will see the last thing, that is the cube root, complex cube root of unity. Complex cube root of unity. That means you have to find the complex cube root of 1. Unity means 1, right? So if I consider x cube is equals to 1, clear? So x cube is equals to, I can write it as 1 cube because 1 cube is what? 1. Now I will bring x cube, this 1 cube to the left hand side. Okay, so for this I will use the basic formula, x cube minus 1 cube is equals to what? You know a cube minus b cube is what? A minus b into with a square plus ab plus b square. So this will give you what? A minus b, right? Into with x square plus x plus 1. It is equals to 0. So from here what you can write? X is equals to 1, or you can write what? Either you can write here, huh? Or you can write x square plus x plus 1 equals to 0. Right? X minus 1 equals to 0, you can write. This will give you x equals to 1. All right. And for this is a quadratic equation. We know that the quadratic equation has a form of ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. and the formula will be what? It will be x is equals to minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac divided by 2. So here also the same thing we will do. X is equals to what? Minus b. B is the coefficient of x, so it is what? Minus 1 plus minus root over b square is 1 minus 4ac. A is also 1, c is also 1. So this is just minus 4 divided by 2. So you will get x is equals to what? Minus 1 plus minus, this will give you what? Root over minus 3, right? Minus 3 means what? Root over minus 3 means what? Minus 3 means what? 3 into with minus 1. Minus 1 is I square. So you can just write 3I square. That will give you what? Root 3I, right? Divided by 2. So finally what you can write? X is equals to what? X is equals to 1. It is equals to minus 1 plus root 3I divided by 2, comma it is minus 1 minus root 3I divided by 2. So this is 1, this is omega, and this you can write as omega square. So from here you will get two properties. The first property is what? 1 plus omega square plus what? 1 plus omega square, it is equals to 0. The second is what? Omega cube is equals to 1. When you will do when you will do this 1 plus this, you will do add all these three, then you will get 0. And omega cube is equals to 1 means these two, when you will multiply omega square and omega, then you will get it to be 1. Clear? So this is all about the complex cube root of unity. So these are the things which I thought which is essential for the review of the entire complex number. And in the relations I have mentioned in the previous video of dealing with sine and cos, you can also see the relation of tan theta, cosec theta, sec theta, cot theta, and also the hyperbolic terms for expansion. So now let's see the entire review of the things that we have studied here. So the first thing that we have studied is what? We have just seen the representation of the complex number in Cartesian form, right? We have seen what is the real part and the imaginary part. Complex number can be purely real and purely imaginary. When it will be real, the imaginary part will be 0. When it is imaginary, the real part will be 0. And complex number can be the combination of both. That means when x plus iy, you will have the complex number, then it is a combination of both the real and imaginary part. In polar form, you can write this complex number to be r e to the power I theta. E to the power I theta is cos theta plus I sin theta, which will give you x to be r cos theta and y to be I sin theta. Clear? In rectangular form, you can write z is equals to what? R less than theta. So next is some basic things, that when will be two complex number equal? When its coefficients are equal. To add the complex number, we have to add the coefficient of real parts and the coefficient of imaginary part. In subtraction also, we will have to do the same thing. We have to just subtract the coefficient of the real and the imaginary parts. Next is that how we can represent a complex number. We can represent it in a Argand plane, right? So for this, x is considered the real axis, y is considered the imaginary axis, because x is the real part, y is the imaginary part. So theta, it is the angle which is made by the vector OP with the real axis, and r is the length of the radius vector. Clear? Complex conjugate of any complex number is z bar is equals to minus z bar is equals to x minus iota y. This is for a complex number x plus iy. Means the sign before iota will be changed. Conjugate is nothing but it is the reflection of the complex number about the real axis. Now we will see the modulus. Modulus of z is equals to root over x square plus y square. That is the root over of what? Real part square plus imaginary part square. Mod of z equals to r. It is the equation of a circle which is representing a circle which is centered at the origin and which has a radius r. Similarly, we can see the argument of z. Argument of z is denoted by theta, and it is equals to tan inverse y by x. That is tan inverse imaginary part divided by the real part. After this, we will see the properties of modulus of z. So for this, we are considering two complex number. The first is z1, the second is z2. So here you will see the modulus of what? z1 plus z2, it will be less than equals to the modulus of z1 plus the modulus of z2. And for the difference, okay, modulus, that is modulus of z1 minus z2, it will be equals to what? Modulus of z1 minus modulus of z2. So for difference, it is greater than. For sum, it is less than. And for product, it is equal. All right, Z1 and Z2, modulus of Z1 into Z2, it is equals to what? Modulus of Z1 into modulus of Z2. And similarly for division, what you will see, modulus of Z1 by Z2, it is equals to modulus of Z1 divided by modulus of Z2. Arguments property is same to that of logarithm. Here the multiplication will change into what? Addition, and division will change into subtraction. Clear? Then the De Moivre's theorem is cos theta plus I sin theta whole to the power n. So n will come with the argument, right? N is nothing but an integer. Similarly, we can find the square root of a complex number. We have to remember that the square root of a complex number will be a complex number. So these are the steps how you can find. So using different relations, we will get the value of a and b, which will give us the square root. We have solved one example also. And lastly, we have find the complex cube root of unity, that is the cube root of 1. And we have seen two properties here. 1 plus omega square is equals to 0, omega cube is equals to 1. So that's all in this video. In the next video, we will discuss about the Cauchy-Riemann condition, and I would request all of you to make a proper notes. I know these are very basics and you have studied this in your inter schools and inter levels, but still just having a revision is good. Thank you so much. Have a good day.